This is the 2025 Honda Civic LX. What can you expect when you pay less than $26,000? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. For those of you who regularly say, Tom, don't show us the highest trim levels on everything you review, this is the video for you because you can't get any lower than this on the sedan because it's the LX trim level. That is the base or entry level trim. If you want to know more, check out the link down in the description of the video to the Holmes Honda website. The exterior color on this model is solar silver. Let's not tongue twist and tie all that together. Solar silver with a black interior. And here on the front end, we're going to see some changes. The biggest changes you're going to see are going to be found right here. More obvious, in my opinion, than anything else. Not only with the overall design right here, but with the now functional area that you have right here. That is a functional air curtain. We're going to have that on both sides. Tell me if you like that more than the basically faux fog lights that used to be right there. It looked at least like a fog light. Some people might say, you know what, I really like that a little bit more, and there's nothing wrong with that. Now, one thing, I always receive comments from people saying, how do I make my lights flicker like that? You have to look through the lens of a GoPro. That's the only way you're going to do that. It's not really happening. In other words, these cameras don't like LED lights. That's why that's happening. But what you do have is LED headlights and LED daytime running lights. That is a good thing because you're still going to get LED lighting on the base trim level. And it goes without saying that this model is front-wheel drive, all-wheel drive not available. People do ask about that sometimes, and so I like to cover that. And what about your safety features? Driving aids, Honda sensing, it's here. Adaptive cruise control, collision mitigation braking, lane keeping assist, road departure, and traffic jam assist. And for those of you who are very budget conscious, maybe you're that person who's building wealth and you just don't want to spend a lot of money on your vehicle. That's not a bad thing. When it comes to replacing your tires on this model, you definitely can go with the highest grade tire and still not spend a lot of money. And here's why. It's not a big tire. 215 on the width, a 50 series sidewall, wrapped around the 16-inch wheels. Boy, there's a bad habit to form. 16-inch wheels. There is a spare tire as well. And you'll have the body-colored mirror caps. The side view mirrors do fold in two different directions. They are power adjustable. Let me tell you what you won't find here. You won't find your blind spot information system, and you won't find that the mirrors are heated. Well, just something to be aware of. And there is your remote. Everything here except for remote start. So, if you're curious about those things, there are the answers to those questions. And we finish things off with the LED tail lights here on the rear of this model. And what about your cargo capacity? Let's see if we can get this to open for me. We will have 14.8 cubic feet of cargo capacity. And just to show you what's here, because I mentioned it earlier, if I can get this up, there is your spare tire and all of the tools to change the tire to maximize cargo space. We pull on the release right there. And you don't have 60-40 split rear seats back here, so everything comes down as one, just one piece basically, just in case you were curious why I only pulled on one release right there. But there's how you're going to maximize your cargo capacity. Under the hood is the direct injection 2-liter 4-cylinder. It makes 150 horsepower and 133 pounds-feet of torque. It's mated to a CVT. Let's talk about our MPGs on this model. 32 city, 41 highway, 36 combined, and 2.8 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. And if you're curious about your gas tank size, this is a 12.4 gallon gas tank. And a quick look into the back seat to see what your rear seat passengers will find. The armrest is comfortable. I do wish this area was flat, but that's the way it is. Not necessarily a big deal. It just seems like it might be a little more comfortable without that angle right there. But that's my opinion. Other people might say, yeah, that's no big deal at all. Bottle holder here, and we'll hop inside. There is a reasonable amount of room for this size of vehicle. In fact, I'm sitting straight up at 5'10". You can see that I fit. If you're over 6 feet tall, you probably need to sit in the front seat. Now, keep in mind trim level and price point here. that is literally all we have to talk about back here. But you do have one thing, and that is going to be the rear window defogger. You may not have rear air conditioning vents or USB connectivity, but you do have a rear window defogger. You know you're paying less than $26,000 on this particular model, but what exactly is the sticker price? $25,345. Let's see what else you get for the price. Here's where you're going to control those power adjustable side view mirrors, power locks. You can lock and unlock the windows. And here's something interesting. We have the one touch down and one touch up. Notice I'm not holding anything. I'm holding the camera with my other hand in case you didn't know. So one touch down, one touch up on your front windows. You won't have that on the rear windows, but in case you were curious, there you go. And in the situation that you want to do a front wheel drive burnout, well, there you can turn your traction control off right there. You can also adjust the steering wheel position. It is tilt and telescopically adjustable. Here are your steering wheel mounted controls, everything for your adaptive cruise control over here on the right hand side, and then all of your other controls on the left, including the ability to scroll through a lot of information on your digital instrument cluster. This is nothing new, obviously, for 2025, but just to show you what's here, there you go. So, a lot of things there to help out, check things out, see what's going on. And something else that Honda did not change for 2025 is the fact that this model still comes standard, even on the base trim level, with turn signals. And that's how you use those for those of you who haven't figured that out yet. And you control your lights right there. Can't really say anything sarcastic so much about the control for your windshield wipers here, because most people tend to use those when it's necessary, unlike their blinkers. And the 7-inch touchscreen. Now, there's a couple of things I want to show you here. First of all, let's look at our multi-view rear view camera. 3 different views, and again, that flickering effect, I'm sorry about that, is just one of those things that happens with these cameras. You can see the 3 different views, and you have nice bright trajectory lines. You have your control for your volume here and changing stations here, and you can see what else is down here. Now, you can wirelessly pair your phone via Bluetooth. You do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility. To use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, you will need to tether your phone, which is more simply stated, you need to use a USB cable. That will allow you to do that here, and you can have everything that you need. So, very simplistic system. If you need to go back to your main screen, you can do that right there, pushing the buttons here if you need to. That makes things nice and easy. But nice to know that that feature is here. And not having a wireless charging pad, well, obviously it's a good idea to go ahead and plug your phone in. Now, let me get everything out of the way here, and you'll notice that as soon as I unplugged, well, we don't see Apple CarPlay anymore, or Android Auto if that's what I was using. You have single zone climate control here. Not a big deal in an interior of this size, in my personal opinion, but you can see you can control temperature here, fan speed here, and all your other different features. As far as that goes, we do have connectivity here in the front seats. You have the 12-volt power outlet and your USB options, a little bit of storage here, your conventional style shifter as far as that goes. And if you want to go into sport mode, you're going to do it right here. So we have D for drive, S for sport, and L, that's low. If you're in a really low traction situation, you can go into low. It's going to stay in first gear, but you're still going to have all of your power available to you, all your horsepower and torque available. Econ mode, right there, we push that button. You can turn the auto stop or idle stop on and off right here, depending on what you want. Power parking brake and brake hold mode. And we do have cloth interior here, by the way, with manually adjustable seats for the driver and the passenger. Also, we're going to have plenty of room within the center console with your removable tray, or the tray that you can simply move to the front or rear position. Now, let's take a quick look up here at our upper console just to show you what's here in case you were curious. Okay, here we go on our test drive with this Civic. And I know a lot of people are going to have likely some less than favorable things to say about the horsepower and torque numbers. And for some people, well, you just need to go with something that has more horsepower. But there are going to be people out there who will say, that's good, that works for me, works just fine. As far as my experience goes, It doesn't seem to be an issue to get up to speed, to do what you need to do getting down the road. But that's one thing about these Civics, the way the chassis and the suspension are tuned, it's really fun to drive. You don't have to have a lot of power to enjoy the driving experience. And based on what I'm experiencing here, and I'm not in sport mode, I'm just driving in drive, just through regular driving mode, it's not an issue to get down the road and get up to speed. So, not that I'm really pushing it that hard to try and find out, I'm just driving normally, and I'm having absolutely no trouble at all. It would be nice to get out some places where I can try some different driving situations depending on what we need to do, but I only have so much time and so much availability. But we'll see what happens here up the road when the speed limit increases just a little bit. But as far as the driving experience goes, it's definitely very sporty. It just feels enjoyable. It feels like the car is literally sucking itself to the road. As funny as that may sound, that's the best way I can describe it. It feels very well planted. There, that's probably better. And the ride quality itself is good. So I'm gonna get on up here just a little bit, and we need to slow back down now. Not even hardly at quarter throttle, just getting down the road, no problem. The ride quality is comfortable. I'm not going to tell you that it's the absolute smoothest thing on the road, but it definitely will be good for long road trips. It won't wear you out with an uncomfortable ride quality. You won't be saying, I just can't wait to get out. And for me personally, I find that the cloth seating is just fine. Seems to be good and comfortable. The seats, for me, fit. I fit well in the seats is probably a better way to put it. So not really having any trouble as far as being comfortable with the bolstering. It's not too much, but it's also not too little. So it seems to be well balanced. And speaking of well balanced, the brake and the gas pedal, something that a lot of people ask about, how hard is it to adjust to the gas and the brake? Well, in this particular case, I don't find that to be a problem at all. So let's see here. Let's listen. Now, I just drove over those railroad tracks right there. You did hear a little bit of it. To me, that's not too bad. So you're not getting a ridiculous amount of road noise. But again, you need to take that for what it's worth. I don't have as good a hearing as you might. So just something to consider. You do need to drive these vehicles for yourselves. And one thing that I think is a big plus for the owner or potential owner that says, Tom, I know I need a new vehicle. I don't want to spend a lot of money, but I also don't want a ridiculous amount of technology and something that's difficult to learn and use. That's exactly what you have here, is something that is easy to learn, easy to use. By no means is there a technology overload here with this Civic LX. That 7-inch touchscreen is fairly simplistic and what I would call minimalistic. So it's good. If you need help with that, well, you're in the right place. Just get on YouTube and it will be no problem. Overall space, as far as my comfort goes, I don't feel cramped. You can obviously adjust the seats to a degree. You have the ability to raise and lower the seats. Even though they are not power adjustable, they still have a lot of adjustability built into them, and that definitely helps a lot. You also have your tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. That just makes things a lot easier to deal with. I am curious to know if anybody has had experience with being well over 6 feet tall and driving one of these Civics. Now, I'm giving it a little bit more of a test, getting up to speed. We're at 60 miles an hour right there. I was at about half throttle, or for those who don't know what I'm talking about when I say that, I had the gas pedal down about halfway. Personally, if this was a vehicle I was looking for and it was in the price range that I need, I would be happy with what is here, with getting down the road, all of that. It just depends on what you are, who you are, and what your needs are. But I think for what you're paying for here, you honestly get quite a bit for the sticker price. And for those who wanted to see what the Civic looks like from the side view, there you go. So that is what you can expect when you pay less than $26,000. I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on this Civic LX. maybe this isn't the trim level you want. If there's a particular trim level you would like to see me show, let me know in the comments section. It will be based on availability and what is available here at the dealership. So I'll try and make that happen for you as soon as I can with multiple trim levels. Hopefully we'll show you a new Civic Hybrid here in the next week or two. So stay tuned for that. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends at Holmes Honda for loaning me this Civic LX for the day. And a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. Make sure to subscribe. That way you don't miss any future videos. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.